All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. We're gonna discuss some serious politics. The gender politic between the black man and woman, and the politic that the Democrats use in the black community. The Democratic Party's main reason for pandering and catering to black women is because black women outnumber the black man almost 7-1. Now, with their numbers, they can guarantee to bring in the majority of the black vote, which sometimes is enough to tip the scale through the woman. They target the black woman by programs and the lure of upward motivation. They basically tell the black woman, we will make you head over your men in your community, but you will never be equal to the Caucasian woman or the Caucasian man. But we will allow you to be in a more advantageous position than your man, because we know that will upset the balance of a family structure, which will divide the community, which will keep you powerless and keep you attached to the party as black women. Until we no longer need you, then we'll serve you up to the opposition. Now, the lure of being elevated above your counterpart is a tactic that's old as the devil himself. And you may think, well, our other alternative is Trump, and Biden is the lesser of two evils. Whereas righteous people and upward mobile people don't choose between either evils. You're going to say that this man is less evil than that man, but they both evil. They both want to maintain the status quo. They both want black people as second-class citizens. The first thing Kamala Harris said to black people when she got in office after she had been wearing chucks and pearls was, I'm not going to do anything for black people. Pacifically, no. After she rocked with y'all and danced with y'all and wore her chucks, she said specifically, point blank range, I'm not going to do anything for you. Then Biden checks Al Sharpton after they get elected and say, look, you're going to have to work with Hispanics. They're going to outnumber you. They're going to be the minority that we deal with. So you're going to have to get used to dealing with the Hispanic community as black people. So you have black people jockeying for closeness to Caucasians with Mexicans and Hispanics and Latinos and immigrants as if we haven't been here. They have shown you that they will put any people above you. Ukrainians come over here, they put them over us. They show you they will put anybody in position. Now, watch the rhetoric and see how they really target black women. This is for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act for commentary and educational purposes. Shout out to the Hill.
Vice President Kamala Harris appeared on The View yesterday to talk all things 2024, and, well, let's take a look. Harris asked what she was going to do to, quote, stop the crazies.
And what are you going to do to stop the crazies?
I am scared as heck.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm trapped.
This is her appeal to women that watch The View. They asked her, what is she going to do about the crazies? They're calling their whole opposition the crazies. To discredit them, while they have already told you that they ain't going to do nothing for you. Nothing. But keep exploiting our divisions, keep controlling Hollywood and the debauchery, and it's all at the demise of the black community. Watch this.
Traveling our country. You know, there's an old saying that there are only two ways to run for office, either without an opponent or scared. So on all of those points, yes, we should all be scared.
The vice president also broke down what exactly this year's presidential election will mean for our democracy.
We are in the month of January. We've got 10 months to go until the election. And increasingly, and you've seen it even just this week, we are all starting to narrow in on what this election will mean. And frankly, in the midst of so many big issues challenging our world that, you know, are not binary, you know, it's not just one side or the other. On this one, there's a split screen that you can throw up and see. Yeah. And it's going to be the choice between what is about respecting our democracy, what is about competence versus chaos.
Kamala Harris gave another warning about a possible Trump election win.
A person running to become the commander-in-chief who is admitting he would weaponize the Department of Justice. These issues in terms of how we are doing on a daily basis and how our democracy and our country is doing are inextricably linked.
And here's one last clip from this action-packed View episode that we wanted to share with you for good measure.
We have to earn the reelect, and we have to communicate what we have achieved.
Yes.
And that is going to be one of our big challenges. We've done a lot of good work. We need to let people know who brung it to them.
All right.
There was
let's take it from the top.
She said so little with so much.
What I've noticed is that she does a thing where she'll just like point around the room and name things and state truths. So Robbie, we're drinking coffee in this room. And it's important to realize that when you have computers in front of you, you are at work. And when America goes to work, that's when we win.
Yeah, it's just the emphasis rather than the words. It reminds me of the Family Guy clip. There's an episode where Lois is running for mayor, and the dog Brian tells her, like, the voters aren't paying attention to the actual words you're using; it's how you say it. And then she's just like, 9/11 was bad. 9/11. 9/11. Right? It's not. It's just empty. It's more the cadence than anything else with her.
But substantively,
who are the
it
crazies?
is interesting. I want to come to that right off the top. It seems like this is another one of. I mean, it's the View's framing, so I don't blame. I don't think that that's a word that she would have reached for necessarily, unless it was like printed on a mug in front of her. But the question is about how politicians should talk about the fact that 50% of the country is obviously conservative, and much of that 50% identifies specifically with the MAGA movement. Now, there were some branding attempts from the Biden administration to cordon off MAGA as a separate entity than Republicans.
And specifically not to round them up to half of the entire country, as Hillary Clinton famously did.
Right.
I had a colleague of mine that I used to work with and at the college, and she argued me up and down. Trump is going to put us in slavery. It's going to be the end of the world. We don't want a racist in office. Since we've been in this country, the Oval Office has been filled with nothing but racist and elitist. Y'all loved John F. Kennedy so much that y'all didn't even care that he the one that sicked the feds on Martin Luther King. They play in your face. And I did another video where they were showing where these illuminists or the Illuminati were saying one of their tactics was to come to the woman and say, no, we're going to elevate you. If you help get us in office, we have something for you. We got something for you. You just got to sell out the whole community to get it.
And, I think the problem with that is that increasingly people either identify as MAGA, as Republicans, or feel like Trump is so embattled that even if they personally don't describe themselves as MAGA, they would vote for him. And I think we saw that in the Iowa polls, that people who did not self-identify as MAGA or who even thought that Trump might be liable for some of these criminal issues would still cast their vote for him regardless, because we live in a vote blue no matter who, lesser of two evils style country, where a lot of people who do have frustrations with Trump want to vote for him. And that being the case, are you going to tell all those people that are willing?
Do you guys think that what's going on with Fannie Willis in Atlanta with her prosecution of Trump, and now they threatening her with RICO and her with disbarment and her with embarrassment, got her running to the church pleading her case to black people? They used her as an attack dog for their political enemies. Her little Fulton County DA's office is going against an ex-president and one of the most powerful Caucasian men in the country. Her little office. The Attorney General of the state said, no, we don't want to touch that. But the sister, against their saying don't mess with it, she took it upon herself to charge Donald Trump. And before we can even get a trial with Donald Trump, they're talking about charging her with RICO and fraud and being a loose woman. Women are out loose right in time to get her removed off the case. So no matter what happens, they will not be able to go to trial before election season. Do you think that was a mistake? You think they just got lucky to drop this soon as January rolled around with 10 months left before election time, for the election cycle? Because they're going to remove her off their case. They made this bar, she may even go to jail. You can't hire your lover and pay your lover twice as much as anybody else in the office when he's the least qualified. And then go on trips with him. Then use the same debit card that he used to deposit the money that you give him. And they been knew she was doing that. Joy Reid and all the other sisters like Talib, the lady Omar Talib or whatever her name is, all the ones that they was using in Congress, all their jobs are in danger. Because what he does is he uses you until he doesn't need you anymore. And then he slings you to the ground, back to where you came from. This is why you got Angela Rye crying about, oh, Como called me this in the text. You see all this drama with black women and these powerful Caucasian and Hollywood types because they've been pandered to and lied to and enticed to move away from their base and move away from their family structure and become something different. No, they calling Fannie Willis and them other lady politicians hot girl politicians. It's crazy.
To vote for Trump because they're simply not Democrats. They simply, from a policy perspective, are never going to vote for a Democrat. Right. That's just like no one at that table, except for Alyssa Farah, is ever going to vote for a Republican. Right. Crazies. I'm not sure that is winning hearts and minds.
Right. She was set up for it, as you're right, because that's how Joy phrased it. But you could say, well, I mean, the people you're describing as crazies are fellow Americans, and Joe Biden is their president as well. And I want to win them over. Maybe that's impossible, but I'm going to try. I don't think Donald Trump is delivered for them substantially. And here's everything and also maybe speak to, you think are they crazy for having dissenting, for wanting to embrace free speech and wanting to be able to express their views on social media, or embracing COVID views that have been demonized? I mean, RFK Jr. and his supporters, called crazy by many mainstream people in the media, attracted at least some level of Democratic support. He has supporters. He has people who voted for Barack Obama and who voted for Joe Biden.
Most of the time when people call you crazy, it's because they're trying to discredit you. They say, don't listen to that ninja, he crazy, because they don't want you to hear what he may say. This is the same thing they're doing.
Biden who support him now. Again, you can just strategically just give up on these people. These people are crazies. These are not our voters. We're hoping to keep as many voters as we have, and then maybe pick off some affluent Republican women in the suburbs who just can't do Trump again. Maybe that's the strategy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you can point to specific crazy.
I'm going to show you this other clip where they got Biden. You might not be able to see it because the computer is far away from the camera or whatever. I could probably make it closer with this, but I want you to just hear what this brother finna say as it relates to Biden and Biden's dementia. I mean, like, y'all really want a president that's really going through dementia. And when you say it's the lesser of the two evils, the other one they're trying to frame as crazy and racist, and the other one is they frame it as a racist that's crazy and suffering from dementia. There's some hell of a choices for black people, ain't there? Not to me. Neither one of them is going to ever represent us. They maintain the status quo.
These self-adjustable glasses are country so much Democrats. You would say, you know, about the country so much Democrats. You would put.
This is for fair usage. Check out what he said.
Kamala Harris, you know, the famous vice president that told black folks this.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
You know, that vice president of yours, you know, she made some comments about the black vote. But before we get to your favorite vice president of the United States of America, let's get to your president. Now, a lot of you coming to the chat and a lot of you Democrat shields, you talk about we got to get out there and vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden is just the best person for the job. Oh, America is so much better because Joe Biden is in office, right? Well, Joe Biden has issues way beyond politics at this point. We talked about this on African Diaspora, but I want to play a clip of a video that just, you know, people had posted. And you tell me if you want the man in this video, Joe Biden, to be your next president. Let's go ahead and roll that clip. So as you saw in that video, once his wife left, he was lost. He was confused. He was looking around. And you're looking at the way he's walking. Anyone who's been around their grandparents that dealt with those issues and got to that stage in life, not all people at his age get to that point. They got people that's in their 90s and they sharper than any person that's 23 years old. So it's not about his age per se. It's about his overall health and his, you know, cognitive health. And what we're seeing is this man is not up for the job, y'all. This man can be easily manipulated by whoever. You know, they even, you know, charge people for doing things against the elderly, manipulating them to do things, manipulating them to sign things, etc. We know this. It's called elder abuse, right? This man clearly needs to go home. He needs to go back to Delaware, you know, get with his doctor, you know, not be stressed out about the country and all of that. He don't need that at this point. No matter what we say about him politically, that man's confused. And America's enemies and everybody else that's trying to do things to this country, this is their time. I just saw a news report about at the border in Mexico, they got a line of Russian males trying to come into the country. Every man in the world trying to come to this country because they got plans to do things to this country. These men that's coming in here aren't just poor workers and they just want a better life. No, a lot of these men coming in here are military people. A lot of them are, part of sleeper cells. And during this administration, we have had no security. This man don't know what he's doing. He just don't. He got his good days, with your grandfather, right? He had his good days. He's straight. He's good. Then he's like that. Then look at the way he's walking. I mean, the man. How many times have we seen the man fall up the stairs, fall down? We constantly seen this. This man does not need to do this job. And anybody go out there voting for that man, seeing this video, listen, it's not me making it up. I don't make this stuff up. I just show you. And even for Kamala herself not to be saying something. But they toe the line because it's all about power for them. It's not even about Joe Biden's hell. Listen, I guess one of Joe Biden's good days, he said,
They scaring you so bad. The Democrats want to scare you so bad that they'll have you vote for a man that's suffering from dementia, what it looks like. That's falling, don't know where he is at. So you can't tell me he knows what's going on in the country if he don't even know where he at. Soon as his wife left him, he got confused. I had an uncle that suffered from that. And when he was younger than Biden, would leave, not know where he. Whenever my aunt wasn't around, he become totally discombobulated. Joe Biden, in his mind, might think it's the 60s, and he might be the one that put y'all back in slavery. If somebody tell him it's 1863.
yeah, there's other people that can beat Trump. Okay, fine. Where's all those Democrats that can beat Trump? Because if you actually cared about the country so much, Democrats, you would say, you know what? Biden needs to go deal with his health issues and put up another Democrat to run against Trump. Let's call it what it is. We've seen the Iowa caucus. Trump blew him away, right? And they looked at the two issues that people in Iowa said why they voted was because the immigration, migrant crisis, and the economy. That's the two.
Have y'all been following the news to see how the migrants is getting into it with black people in their own communities? They telling us we have no rights in our own communities. Our resources is being used, our tax dollars is being used to take care of migrants who came across the border illegally, and they just dump them in our neighborhoods. Think about that. They found out Venezuela was emptying the prisons and their asylums and sending them to the border and sending them over here. And guess what, black people? Y'all still ain't got no hate crime bill. So they're going to move all the migrants in there. And they're going to have unity. And they're going to stick together. And we're not. They're going to overrun us. Their children will be in the Spanish-speaking gangs, taking your kids up off here, controlling the drug trade with their direct connections to the cartel. They're going to be the plug and the new overlords because that's what the Democrats want for us.
Two things. And black folks saying the same thing. This migrant crisis and the economy. All that other side stuff, when we deal with that later, that's the two things you're worried about. Your back pocket and people coming in here to take money out of your back pocket. Now, let's get to Kamala, because see, Kamala don't take things seriously. She don't at all. So let's go on and start with her. So it said Kamala had attempted to tamp down concerns President Joe Biden's campaign is struggling to win black votes, a key constituency behind his 2020 election win. Now, after watching that video, it's not just black folk. that's looking at him like, on top of the other mess that he done. Now, she said, we've done really good work. Our challenge will be to let people know who brung it to them. That's what she said in the interview. When you do good things, people will know it, right? Prime example. If you do a stimulus, they know what president signed off on it. They know. You don't have to go tell people, hey, I did this for you, I did it. Because if you did it, it will be evident in their life and they'll be talking about it, right? But Vice President Harris, why don't you go talk to the Asian community? I'm going to keep saying that. Y'all ran, as soon as Biden got in there, he was still in his good days. When he got in there, he signed that Asian hate crime bill. Why aren't y'all posted up in Chinatown talking to them? Now, they continue to say black voters have been a crucial block throughout the president's political career, turning out strong for Biden during, let's say, the 2020 Democratic primaries in South Carolina, which helped catapult him to clinch his party's nomination and subsequently the presidency. Yeah, but at that time, what were we going through? George Floyd. A lot of people was upset at the time with Trump. So that's why a lot of people came out to vote for Biden. It's not that people were so excited about Biden. It's just he came in at the right time with all that. And of course, they were fear mongering on top of that. And they was talking about, oh, we're going to do something about the police. And then when the Democrats got in, they do nothing about the police. Biden didn't have his, police accountability commission. He got rid of that, talking about Congress needs to do that. So he, everything he said to get in there, he's a straight lie. Now, they continue to say, but polling has shown that while black voters strongly support Biden in a hypothetical matchup against his potential future opponent, former President Donald Trump, support for him has been waning, a sign that black voters may be disaffected at the prospect of voting for Biden again. Now, Harris acknowledged communicating the campaign's message to black voters who might be inclined to sit it out 2024. They say would pose a challenge. Now, y'all remember, of the last election, the word was, hey, sit it out. Everybody, oh no, we can't sit it out. We can't sit it out. And the sitting out popularity started with the grassroots. Now, the mainstream is acknowledging the couch. They're acknowledging sit it out 2024. They're acknowledging that because they know that a good portion of black people is going to sit it out. And go ask Sheila Jackson Lee what happens when black folks sit it out. Go ask her. She'll tell you. See, she would have been the mayor of Houston if black folks didn't choose the couch. Black folks chose the couch, and Sheila Jackson Lee behind got beat so bad by John Whitmer. Now John Whitmer is the mayor of Houston. Now, that's what happens when black folks sit out. The Democrats cannot win anything without black people. Because every other community, their votes are split.
Now, I'm just going to put something out there. So black women are the #1 supporters of the Democratic Party. Why don't they advocate for any type of benefits for the black community other than themselves as black women? You know what I mean? Why don't they use their black girl magic to uplift the black community, the black children, the black babies, the black institutions? Why don't they use their sisterhood to back upward mobilization of the black family? The Bible said the devil deceived the whole world. Who y'all following?
Democrat, Republican split. White community, Hispanic community, Asians, all they vote is split. Black people are the only block they had to say we vote in a block. And you didn't pissed off your voting block by not doing nothing for them. You can't scare us about Trump. You can't scare us about democracy. What freaking democracy? What democracy? A democracy means we have a voice. We said so many times, reparations in the form of cash payments. We said so many times.
Democracy is a utopian idea created by Plato. Plato's Republic. It's an illusion. This country is ran by rich people, elitists, imperialists, capitalists. There is no democracy. This is what we used to say when I was young. If life was something that money could buy, all the rich people would live and the poor niggas would die. Think about it.
The anti-black hate crime bill. We've said so many times, get rid of qualified immunity for these race soldiers. We've said that so many times. Hey, investigate the banks and see how they do black folks with business loans and home loans. Y'all don't do any of that. How is it these migrants will come over here and put a business in a black community, but black folks can't put a business in their own communities? Well, we know the game now. The government is giving them all kind of money. We never knew how it worked, but we know now. We know y'all just coming up with money all over the place to give the migrants, no matter where they come from. That's why they're putting up businesses in the black community, because the white community say, you're not bringing yourself over here. You better go over there to that black community and set your business up.
The white people saying, you better sell that malt liquor, them stems and pipes and lighters and ashtrays and Black and Miles and Backwoods and Newports and all that. You better sell it over there where you know you're supposed to sell it.
And we see you. We see you 100%. So that's why I say, okay, if you don't want to do nothing for black people, fine. You don't have to. That's your right. Well, black folks are just going to choose the couch. Or some black folks will vote Trump. That's really the options. And like I told y'all before, I'm good with either one, just as long as you don't reward the Democrats. Because the Democrats have really done enough to black people. They've done enough. And it's time for them to see how it feels when we don't really show up. Like in Louisiana. Black folks didn't show up over there. And that's why Sean Wilson didn't get the vote either.
Black people, are y'all so afraid of they fear-mongering with their brothers and their cousins that y'all willing to really give it to the Democrats for nothing? That's worse than a prostitute. You can respect a prostitute. She gonna get her money. Y'all say if she give it away for free in the same manner, she's a harlot, a slut. So we give the Democrats our vote and our support for nothing. Elijah Muhammad said that the black people in America love the devil because he gives them nothing. That's a statement in the teachings of the Nation of Islam. Farrakhan teach you that. And I used to wonder what he meant by black people love the devil and the enemy because he gives them nothing. You ever seen a woman love a man so much that won't do nothing for her? Nothing. Take her car and be gone in her car all night. And she got to go to work in the morning. And he don't even care. That's how the Democrats playing, y'all. Be at this sad chick house in your whip and you got to go to work in the morning.
If black folks would have showed up for Sean Wilson, he'd probably be the governor of Louisiana right now. The majority of people in Louisiana, got to remember, only 27% of people voted who was eligible to vote in that Louisiana election. And the majority of black folks did not vote in that election. And that's why they're scared. And that's why you see them more and more talking about the sitting it out deal, is because that's what people are doing. They're tired. Then Biden got so much against him. He got that Israel-Hamas thing. You got South Africa at the International Criminal Court taking Israel to court, which the mainstream media don't want to show that. You should see all the countries in the world that's behind South Africa in agreement with them. And then you see.
And don't forget, Minister Louis Farrakhan is suing the ADL at the same time. At the same time, when South Africa is taking them to court for genocide in Africa, Mr. Farrakhan over here is taking them to court for their censorship and the way they trying to play it over here. See, black people is on the rise. In the last, you know what something else Elijah Muhammad said? He said when black people was finna rise in the last days, he said the last trick that the devil would use was to turn your women folk against you, to conquer and divide the black family. That's what he said. And he ain't, and his predictions ain't been wrong. This is Armageddon, and don't be no tool. What you want to look? I watched Fannie Willis give her speech at a black church. You should have seen all them pop belly deacons sitting up there clapping their hands, looking at her backside while she explained why she was screwing her colleague and giving him money. You know what I mean? You should have seen them. They were sitting back there, their bellies all big and they Masonic rings on. They just clapping. And she up there acting like she talking to God about, I don't know why they bringing up my personal life. I could sleep with that lady husband. I got a right. Martin Luther King sacrificed his life so I can have a right to sleep with that lady husband. And then come out and say they're exposing me because I'm a black woman. Ain't that lady whole husband you sleep with a black woman? And you saying it's racism? Now you worried about RICO or even getting disbarred? Come on now. They'll throw you out to the wolves so quick. Let's listen to some more of this.
Only what, 4 or 5 countries in support of Israel, which is United States, UK, Canada, a couple others. All white countries, basically white ran countries. So Biden then not only pissed off black folk, but he pissed off the Muslim community who don't even want to. He talking about he'll go over there to Michigan and talk to them. They don't want to talk to him. They say you will not waste your time. Talk for what? What is there to talk about? So they choosing the couch, or they may choose Trump, but they definitely not choosing Biden. Young people are upset with him because he didn't do what he said he was going to do. He did all this promising.
Now you look what he's saying when it comes to minorities. The Arab community will not support Biden. The youth will not support Biden. The black man will not support Biden. The only person supporting Biden out of our minority groups is the black woman because they keep dangling some benefit for you to put you above us as men. Traitorous, betrayal, not only against the black man, betrayal against the God. You betraying God. You think Chinese men look at you and want you after they see how treacherous and traitorous you can be with your own oppressed man while you oppressed? Do you think Asian men look at you and don't see a traitor? Do you think Africa, the whole continent, looks at you and don't see a traitor? What nationality of woman would support a party that has designated her man, her father, her brothers, her sons, her nephews, her neighbors, and slated them for second-class citizenship or destruction so that you can get a what they call a good job, so you can chase the bag? Where you gonna end up chasing that bag? You think that white woman gonna let you share equality with her in the feminist movement? Do you really believe that? Because she definitely wants to be above you. The Latino women want to be above you. Chinese women consider themselves already above you. All of Europe considers themselves above you. So the only person that they're dangling you elevation over is the black man. And the crazy part about it is, you think we mad for real. We already know that when they get tired of using you, they're going to throw you down and throw you to the wolves and sell you out and replace you. They're already getting you all out of them jobs and setting you up. It's conquer and divide. Understand that. Understand what is your real motivation. When I was talking to this lady I had to work with, her whole thing was, I'm retired. I get a good pension. I get to rule over my house. I get to rule over my sons, my uncles, and I get to rule over everybody because I got more stability than them. I don't care about what happens after I die. My pension is gone. I don't care about the future. I don't care about the future of these children. All I care about is being able to look down my nose at that nigga that I got an issue with. So yeah, I sell him out. What do I sign, Joe Biden? Kamala, I know you feel me. Really though? Delusional. Delusional. We can watch a little bit more of this.
About student loan debt and all the other stuff he promised. He didn't do that. On top of the young people that is upset about that war, and he's trying to get it. I don't know y'all been paying attention. United States been bombing Yemen and been bombing this and bombing.
I'm gonna say that and let him finish. What type of woman votes against the best interest of her children and her family and her man for a position next to the Democrats? Please.
And that and they just been talking about the military recruiting is down, is real down, and I'm telling y'all, them geriatrics in Washington, they gonna institute a draft. They keep on not hitting their goals, and they keep on ratcheting things up. So if you don't want a military draft, you got to get the warmongers out. See, when Trump was in office, at least we didn't get involved in no new wars.
As far as I'm concerned, they can draft the migrants. They can fight. They can fight. They can fight for freedom, just like we had to do. They can actually fight for freedom over here. If they escaping some type of oppression in their country, and then they come over here, and we need a draft, put their ass on the front line. Why not?
I'll say that.
It's a lot
Let
of them.
Biden and them get back in there. They warmongers. They make money off of war. You better believe that. They will institute a draft. Listen, them people in Washington don't care about your kids. They don't care about you because they're not going to go fight a war. You will. All that Mitch McConnell. It will.
I'm gonna stop it there for time's sake, and I'm gonna put the brother Hall video in the community section. His name is Philip Scott. Shout out to Philip Scott. I don't know. You know, you heard what I said in my criticism or reaction to the clips I showed you, but you can't say I'm lying though. Have you ever heard the Democrats come up with a policy that benefits black men? No. When they come up with a policy, it's 3 strikes, you're out. War against drugs. Bring the super predators to heel. That's the only policies they ever had for black men. But then with the we'll let y'all have abortions. Y'all can have abortions all y'all want to. Y'all want abortions? Yeah, yeah. Because if Trump get in, he's gonna take that from you. We support abortion over here, especially black ones. Yeah, so we got that for you. Educating your children, no. Making a way for y'all to have access to the loans so that you could be equal in business as your counterparts. No, we ain't gonna do that either. We're gonna give you the right to abortion. That's all they offering black women in an election. And they're willing to vote Democrat just for the right of abortion. In this Christian nation with the corrupt church, we just want the right to get rid of these kids. We don't care what God said. We don't care what our man said. We don't care what our family said. We don't care what demographics say. We want the right to abort our babies. And a little bit of Section 8 every now and then. Toss me a bridge card. And we Gucci. Wake up, Black America. Stand out Detroit. Keep y'all head on swivel. Like and share. Subscribe to the video. Peace.